Okay, hello, good afternoon. First, thank you so much for the invitation, and sorry for my delay. The normality is coming back, but in the airports, I think that flight companies didn't understand yet that the normality is again here, yeah, and I have a long delay in the airport, so I'm sorry. In any case, I am here, and as I say, it's a really honor to be in this event, and I would like to thank Better Finance and the Hellenic Investor Association for your kind invitation. In the title of my speech, there are two references. Yeah, one of them is sustainable, and the second one is investor protection. But maybe, and if you let me, I would like to focus my speech more in sustainability issues. Yeah, because as you know, during this European mandate, the green transition is in the center of every decision. It's in the center of the Commission work, in the center of the Parliament work, and also in the Council. And we have to prepare and to reorientate and to drive our economy toward the climate neutrality in 2050. And the road and the way is not easy. But I would like to focus my speech on this matter because apart from our initial commitments, apart from our moral commitment to advance in the green transition, after the Russian invasion in Ukraine some months ago, I think that even more now, our responsibility to advance in the transition is even more critical. And I use the adverb critical because we are not only playing with the future of the nature, and of course this is the first of our mission, but also with the future of the liberal democracy in Europe. And we have to reduce dramatically our overdependence on Russia, especially on fossil fuels and other energy resources. So when we started this mandate and we started to discuss how we could orientate our economy toward climate neutrality, the Parliament had many ideas. Yeah, in the Parliament, we passed many reports about what we should do, about how we could adapt some regulation, other regulation. But honestly, before the COVID crisis, we didn't have money. And I think that to advance in that transition, we need regulation, and we will talk on this matter later, but we also need funds. And now we have the ordinary MFF with special programs to advance in the green transition. We have the Next Generation EU and the RRF, where national plans have to invest at least 37% on green transition. And now we are working to review or to readapt the RRF with the Repower EU new program. Yeah, so at least, and at the end of the day, thanks to the COVID, we have money to advance in the transition. But the money is not enough. Yeah, the money is relevant. The money is something that we need to invest more in some sectors, to invest more in some kind of infrastructure or another kind of real estate. But we need to readapt our regulation. And as I said at the beginning of this mandate, the Parliament approved many reports, many INIs talking about what we should do. But now, and thanks to the Commission with the Fit for 55 proposal from the last July, we have a package of regulation in our hands. Maybe you knew what we did in the last plenary in Strasbourg, where the parliament was not able to approve the ETS regulation and the CBAN, the ETS directive and the CBAN regulation. But finally, yesterday morning, the negotiation from the three most relevant political parties in the parliament reached a new agreement to review the European market of emission rights. And we agreed also the content, the framework of this new regulation to create or to put in place a new carbon tax in our frontier. There are other regulations. Yeah, I don't want to enter in details on the program from farm to fork, for example, or other regulatory proposals for each sector. Yeah, because when we have to realize what we should do from Europe to advance in this green transition, we have to review everything that we do every day, yeah, from the morning to the moment when we go to the sleep. But this debate and this event is about financial institution, financial regulation. And as I said, we needed funds, we have it. We needed regulation, and the parliament is approving the new package of regulation. But from the financial point of view, the ambitious, or what we did until now, has been more or less increase the transparency and trust market discipline. Yeah, and I think that this is the two elements that there are in every regulation, in every proposal that we passed during this mandate. Maybe the best tone of all financial regulation to drive the economy toward climate neutrality, maybe is the taxonomy regulation. You know, we passed the regulation at the beginning of this mandate. At least the agreement with the council was at the beginning of this mandate. We approved the first delegated act proposed by the Commission at the end of the last year. But now we have some problems, yeah, with the last delegated act, where the Commission proposed to introduce some kind of gas and nuclear plants in the level of green. This week, indeed yesterday, my committee, the Econ Committee and the ENVI Committee voted in favor to object to delegated act proposed by the Commission, and now we have to vote in the plenary in July. I don't want to spend more time talking on the delegated act. I think that you know perfectly the arguments. I think that the gas and nuclear plants have a role in the transition for sure, but even if they have this role in the transition, we should not give them the green level to this kind of energies, because at the end of the day, they are not green. And of course, I think that they have their room in the transition, but not with the green level. And this is what the ENVI and Econ Committee decided this week, and let's see what the Parliament will decide in the next plenary. I talk on transparency and market discipline, taxonomy, sustainability, finance disclosures. This regulation was approved in 2019, and there will be fully implemented in 2023. And you know, more disclosure elements, more transparency, more market discipline at the end of the day. And the rationality of these two elements is, for example, in the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive 2, we had a debate before, and again, transparency, market discipline. The Commission and maybe the co-legislators think that if we increase the transparency, given that every day there are more investors, more financial stakeholders who likes to drive their savings and economic decisions for helping the transition, more transparency will mean more climate respect or less climate risk. Yeah, and this directive is now in negotiation in the Parliament, and And apart from this, as you know, we have also the European Green Bond Standard in the committee, in my committee. And again, transparency, and market discipline. My point, and maybe my last remark on this keynote, is that it's true that now we have funds, we have regulation, we have even financial regulation, but I don't know if transparency and market disciplines are enough to advance toward climate neutrality in 2050. I don't know if this is enough. And for this, or maybe if this is not enough, we have other proposals on the table where, for sure, in the Parliament we will debate if we could do something else, yeah, to advance faster in the transition. And I am talking on the CRR, capital requirements regulation. I am talking on solvency, the insurance regulation, and for sure there will be many amendments in the Parliament to introduce more requirements, to introduce more incentives to advance faster in the transition. In my draft report, in the case of the CRR, I review some of the transitional arrangements proposed by the Commission to incentivize not all of the kinds of mortgage, but only some kind of mortgage related with the green transition. I also review some supporting factor that we have already in the regulation to support, at the end of the day, only green infrastructures. In the solvency 2, we have again the same debate. Yeah, transparency and market discipline will be enough? No. Again, there will be amendments on the table to see if there is enough consensus to introduce more incentives in the regulation. And finally, and with this I conclude my remarks, maybe we need more incentives, as I said, and maybe we should rethink also the monetary policy. Yeah, and the Parliament approved some months ago the ECB annual report, when we didn't say directly, but there is a clear sentence in the paragraph supported by the Parliament, where we expressed the necessity to review the technological neutrality that nowadays drives the ECB decision in the context of the monetary policy. So I conclude. Thank you so much for your invitation. The green transition is the cornerstone of this European mandate. We have funds to advance faster. We have regulation. The Commission is committed with this objective, and the Parliament is working very fast to adapt all of the new laws or directives that we need to reframe every economic sector to advance faster. From the financial perspective, I think that we focus our effort in transparency and market discipline, but I would like to finish this debate with this last question. There will be enough, and if the answer is no, we will, or at least you will see in the Parliament, interesting debate to analyze if we could do more, if we could introduce not only transparency and market discipline, but also incentives in banking regulation, in insurance regulation, and also in the ECB monetary policy. Thank you so much.